Last weekend was an important one for the world of sim racing. The biggest names and biggest teams in virtual motorsport gathered in Katowice, Poland, for a brand new championship. Why was this different to other major racing esports events? Well, not only would the stars be together in person, but it would all take place on a brand new game. Rennsport, still in its alpha phase of development, would be the platform, and ESL would be the hosts.
Virtual racing has been on our minds for like a long time, as seeing it really growing the last years.
An unproven sim on a big proven stage. No pressure then. We were fortunate enough to be invited to the event by ESL and Rennsport. Here's what happened as sim racing took its place amongst the giants of esports. So we've made it to Poland for the first round of ESL R1. Everyone is excited here. There's a lot of nerves, a lot of anticipation, and no one really knows how it's going to go. No one knows which teams are going to be on top. No one knows how the event's going to pan out. But what I can say is the setup here is incredible. This was all part of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2023, a major Counter-Strike Global Offensive tournament and exhibition. While CSGO drew the crowds into the spectacular Spodek Arena, other esports tournaments took place alongside in the exhibition halls. Rennsport, with their inaugural R1 tournament, was joined by the likes of StarCraft 2 and an all-female ESL Impact tournament, with additional representation from major gaming brands such as Nintendo showing off their latest games and products. Parked up next to Nintendo was the ESL R1 stage, and I have to say, the setup looked incredible. Whilst the drivers got settled in and up to speed in testing, I took a quick look at what else would be going on behind the scenes throughout the weekend. So over here on the right hand side of the stage we have race control. It's a cabin where all the difficult decisions are going to be made. We've got live stewards making calls on who is at fault if there is going to be an incident, and there probably will be come the race day. But basically this is where all the stress is going to happen for the guys that aren't actually behind the wheel. It's going to be very, very busy over the course of the weekend. I wouldn't like to be in their seat myself. So over the other side of the stage we have another cabin where the members of the public can come and try Rennsport for the very first time. So we have a couple of rigs set up. You can see here some guys are trying Spa in the different cars just to get a feeling of it, and that's going to be great because the community have obviously been dying to know what Rennsport actually feels like. I'm sure you watching at home are very keen as well, and this just gives a flavour to everyone who's here at the event, just what the drivers are going to be going through. It's exactly the same build as they're using in the proper competition as well, so that's something very unique. I'll be jumping on for a few laps a little later on. As well as all the stuff on show, there were drivers' lounges and ground control for the team captains behind the main stage. From this section hidden at the back, the drivers would emerge, up the stairs and onto the main stage, where they would be introduced to the fans before jumping in their rigs for each race. So this is the main stage for ESL R1. So you've got 12 pods all around me, there's going to be a driver sat in each one. The atmosphere is intense, there's so much energy around, and when they're actually racing, it's going to be really, really exciting. Right now, it's just testing, it's Friday evening, so we've got the teams in their sections. You've got 4 members of each team together in the pods, and that means the team manager can kind of watch over them, keep an eye on what's going on out on circuit, but this is where all the action is going to happen.
So we are working with ESL from the beginning, and really the idea is not only creating a game for the community, also creating a game with a strong partner together so that we can do exactly what we see behind. So great LAN events, great esport, and building all the tools. And starting with these kind of events is also super important to test these things and see if everything works good and really get feedback from ESL. So therefore, perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to IEM Katowice 2023, a historic day for sim racing as a new player enters the scene.
Saturday morning, and it was finally time to get things underway. First off, the quarter-finals. 4 races, with 1 driver from each team filling up the 12-car grid. The goal was simple: finish in the top 6, or you were out.
Here at Spa, the very first race is underway. Reverb will lead from pole position, then charging their way down into La Source. They fire it down the hill, and it's now 2 kilometres up towards Lake Com.
A rocket of an opening lap. We got them all clustering further back as well. As they're now going to rise up through the Mercedes. Oh, goodness me, what a hoos! Spinning it, heading through the Camel Straight, and that car now will fall to the back.
So, a drama-filled start to proceedings, but first blood went to Rietveld.
And it is pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 down the inside. inside now as they rush on us.
Well, the stapler has hit the front. Here he goes. Robbie Stapleford leading from Warren.
Quarterfinal 2 next, and practice pace setter and pole sitter Dane Warren was the surprise casualty.
See Dane Warren, oh no! Big moment, Dane Warren is round!
Meanwhile, Redline made it 2 from 2, with Luke Bennett taking this win. iRacing legend Maximilian Beneke for Mouse and Le Mans Virtual Champion Joshua Rogers for Porsche would win quarterfinals 3 and 4 respectively. 48 drivers had become 24.
We had a really good start. We had the race and we have been really lucky with the races as well. Super much drama, so really been good.
Semi-final 1 next, and although Moritz Lerner took the second Mouse win of the day, it was R8G who shone. They had all 4 drivers in the semi-finals. Now Chinchik and Yovsky were in the final after securing 2nd and 3rd. Yuri Toman, another R8G driver, went 1 better in semi-final 2, holding on for the win ahead of Beneke. So then, time for the final. Time to find out who would become the first ever round winner.
It is final time in ESL R1. Let's take it to the start. Beneke with a great launch from the front row. Bennett to the outside coming down towards the X-curve. Falls back into line, but Wisniewski absolutely on the limit there.
Toman and Chinchik kept the pressure on Beneke throughout, but would ultimately settle for 2nd and 3rd. It was the German Mouse driver who would take the spoils.
And history is about to be made as Max Beneke wins the very first round of ESL R1, and you can see how much that means. Absolutely incredible.
Amazing. I mean, when we came here, we knew it's going to be extremely close because it's fixed setup. You know, people practice a lot. Very happy with the last one, obviously. Feels amazing. Yeah.
So round 1 was an overwhelming success. Not only was the format entertaining, but the game held up impressively for something in such an early stage of development. It's about time then that I jumped on for myself to see what the drivers were experiencing.
So here in Katowice, the members of the public have a chance to try out Rennsport, and not just any version of Rennsport, the same version as they're actually using in the competition. This is my very first lap with this build, and I can already feel, from my initial impressions of Rennsport a few months ago, the game has come a long way. And obviously, I'm sure many of you at home will be dying to get your hands on it and give it a try, but I'll do my best to tell you all the feedback I can from this early running. I am not ready to take Radion and Eau Rouge flat just yet. The car I'm driving is the BMW, and it's not a kind of stable, heavy ride. I actually feel like I'm wrestling it to keep it under control, but saying that, it's doing exactly what I want it to do. I feel like I can be reasonably up to speed, obviously not up to a proper high quality speed, but up to a reasonable hot lapping speed within a few laps of this. It does give you the force feedback nicely. I'd say, to be honest, very early on, I'm saying the most similar feeling thing to this, in my experience, is probably R Factor 2. A lot of the pro drivers have actually been saying that it's probably Race Room that's most similar to this, based on their experience, and I can understand that, but I'm getting that slip angle, that oversteer, that I also get from R Factor 2. You need to drive the car on the edge, you need to get the power on as early as possible. That seems to be the biggest thing. The track, first time at Spa, feels nice, curbs feel okay, no strange physics there. Getting the car in, I can get the power on early, and it is manageable on the exit, but you just have to fight that oversteer. For something so early in its development, it is impressive, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here. Oh no. Not a good start to that lap. This time we're going to try and take Eau Rouge and Radion flat. Oh, the game just about let me do it. I know a lot of people at home are watching and, frustrated that they can't try it, and it's the top level esports guys that are getting their hands on it first, but actually I think it's going to be quite good because it allows them to give feedback to the development team and learn from the top esports guys. That's not necessarily going to mean that the game's going to be easier or more accessible or better for everybody, but in general it does mean you're going to get something that feels solid, that the top guys are actually comfortable and confident with, and hopefully that leads to enjoyable racing for those of us who just want to jump on, have a bit of fun, and clearly don't quite have the same talent levels like that.
Enzo Benito, he was on the summit seven months ago, and it was really great to hear what he said. He said, Willie Morris, you listened what we said, and I said, how do you feel is the product now? And he said, you made so many steps, and it's so different, and it's really better, and it's exact the things we let you know after the summit, and that was really great to hear, and that's the way we would like to work.
So, With day 1 out of the way, how about we hop on our virtual plane to the Hockenheim ring and do it all over again.
And it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go! A brilliant launch from Marcel Cinchik. Rietveld, though, getting the exit speed.
Rietveld started day 2 like he started day 1, winning the first quarter-final. Dane Warren dominated the second, early redemption for yesterday. It was then Tim Yarshall picking up the first phase victory in race 3, and Joshua Rogers made it 2 Porsche Coanda wins in this set of quarter-finals. Semis next, and Rietveld did it again, his 3rd win from 4 races so far over the weekend, proving his status as a title contender. Speaking of contenders, battle for victory in semi-final 2 was fought between Beneke and Rogers, something many people had been waiting for. It was close, until Beneke lost all audio in his headset, leaving Rogers to win his 2nd race of the day, much like Rietveld before him. Time to wrap things up.
Listen, George, take it away!
Thank you, Luke Crane. I have to tell you, folks, we're looking forward to this, but I've just got one question. Are you ready? And it is pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Great jump indeed for Joshua Rogers there in the lead there further back. Moritz Lerner through turn 1. The gap already extending, and look at Marcel Cinchik already getting a lovely run in 3rd place. They're still 3 wide as they head on the outset. 2 Mercedes are going to bully their way through. You can hear the response from Beneke. He's less than happy.
Moritz Lerner piled the pressure on Rogers for the last few laps, but it was the Australian who prevailed. 3 wins from 3 for the day, and the championship lead to go with it. R8G, after another strong day, would lead the team standings.
I knew that it was going to be tight, and I had to kind of put my best foot forward and make no mistakes, and I still made a few, as you do under pressure, but ecstatic, and it's just, it's awesome.
And now we feel really comfortable to give this product to the community as well. So it will be the sporting product you see here. We will give it to the community within the next weeks, definitely. So get the feedback from their side as well, because that's also super important for us to get this feedback.
For me personally, this first weekend felt overwhelmingly positive. Of course, the game has a long way to go to reach its potential, but potential is the key word. This wasn't just about Rennsport though, this was about the landscape of sim racing, and on that front, it's a very similar story. Sure, there's a long way to go before racing esports can compete with the likes of CSGO when it comes to viewership and engagement from a gaming audience, but it has to start somewhere.
There is a long way to go, and definitely a product we would like to develop together. And for us as Rennsport, R1 is the pinnacle of our sporting system. So when it comes to the release, all the people jumping into Rennsport have the chance to step in the sporting system and reach R1 at the end. So for us, it's super important. It's the pinnacle of our sporting system, and so there is a long-term vision, definitely.
Yeah, and just to add to that, it's the vision that we share as well with the entire, ecosystem, with the community, and building worlds that are also beyond gameplay, that is not only like on stage here, but creating that full ecosystem.
The thing that ESL and Rennsport did well was bring out the personalities of the teams and drivers. Who knows where this will lead in the future, but if we can bring in gaming fans as well as racing fans, the racing game and sim racing space can continue to grow. ESL R1 certainly has the capabilities to accelerate that process.
So hopefully you've enjoyed this brief look into the first ever Rennsport and ESL event. ESL R1 is well and truly underway. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more things like it, please make sure you subscribe to the Traxion channel, and of course head over to the website TraxionGG for all of your latest racing game and esports news. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, keep it pinned, and have a great day.